Slovenia's hidden caves open before you like a secret world, where the glow of autumn outside lingers at the entrance soft as candlelight, and the air carries the cool hush of underground silence. You feel the gentle brush of chilled stone against your breath, the faint echo of a single water drop falling in the dark, and a quiet promise of mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Before we begin, find a place where you can rest. Let your body sink into comfort. Tonight, I'll take you on a quiet journey to a place where only peace waits for you. Put on your headphones if you can, and stay with me until the very end, as each word will guide you deeper into the night. And while you settle in, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is right now. Somewhere across the world in this very moment, others are beginning their own journey with nightfall travels. And together, we share this stillness carried on words that flow gently into dreams. Outside the cave's wide mouth, autumn rests across Slovenia's rolling hills. Trees shimmer with copper and gold, their leaves trembling in the evening light. You inhale the cool scent of damp earth and fallen foliage, a fragrance both crisp and comforting. The chill touches your skin, reminding you that warmth waits deeper within in stillness and calm. You take a slow breath in and a slow breath out, feeling your chest rise, then fall. Your body loosens, your shoulders soften, and you allow yourself to imagine stepping forward toward the quiet beckoning of the cave. The sound of dripping water greets you again, steady, patient, as though the earth itself whispers a welcome. The limestone under your feet has carried footsteps for centuries. Travelers, seekers, and guides all once paused where you now stand, drawn into the same timeless quiet. There is a folklore told in these parts of a dragon who once slept beneath the ground. Villagers believe that the rumble of distant rivers was its breath. Tonight, as you hear the faint trickle of underground streams, you might imagine that ancient guardian, still resting, still breathing slowly, undisturbed. You run your hand gently along the stone wall, its surface cool and slightly rough, alive with tiny droplets that shimmer in the dim glow of your lantern. The air is heavier here, but in its weight, there is safety, a sense of being held in the earth's embrace. You let it settle around you like a blanket, closing out the noise of the world above. Further back, the chamber widens. Shadows stretch into arches curving high overhead. Stalactites hang like frozen chandeliers, catching the faint light and scattering it into muted reflections. Each drip that falls seems to echo through the silence, then fade slowly, leaving the cave softer, quieter still. Take another breath in and let it out with ease. With every inhale, you gather the cool purity of stone and water. With every exhale, you release the day behind you, letting it dissolve into the dark. A memory drifts to you of American autumn evenings, perhaps a porch back home where the scent of pumpkin spice lingered in the air, where children carried lanterns down Main Street in October's gentle dusk. That same season has followed you here across the ocean, settling at the cave's edge, reminding you that no matter how far you wander, some comforts travel with you. As you pause in this chamber, your lantern flickers. The dripping water motif deepens. Now you notice its rhythm, matching the slow pace of your heartbeat. Steady, calm, reassuring. Like a lullaby only the earth could compose. In the distance, a faint draft moves through the cavern, carrying with it the smell of moss and minerals. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the cool touch of air on your cheeks, hearing the gentle sigh of the underground river. When you open them, you notice the walls glisten as if dusted with tiny stars, crystals born from centuries of patient water and stone. You take a step forward, then another, listening to the soft crunch of gravel beneath your boots, each sound absorbed by the vast silence. Every motion is unhurried, every breath deep and steady. The world above, with its hurried clocks and crowded streets, feels distant now, as though you've stepped through a hidden doorway into another time. At the far end of this chamber, a narrow passage curves deeper. It promises something beyond another space, another silence waiting to unfold. You pause at the threshold, letting anticipation rest gently on your chest, not sharp, but soothing, like the warmth of a blanket pulled closer. You breathe once more and step into the unknown, guided by the echo of water drops leading you further in. And here the journey only begins. In the next chamber, the cave will reveal new wonders, hidden shapes, and the first glimmers of autumn light reaching inside. The passage narrows as you step inside. The ceiling lowers, drawing you closer to the earth, and the air grows cooler, still wrapping around you like a soft night wind. Each footstep is quiet, cushioned by the damp earth, and above you, drip by drip, the sound continues, a rhythm patient and eternal, guiding you deeper. The faint lantern light glimmers across walls that seem to shift in texture, smooth, then jagged, then painted with delicate ripples, carved by water over countless years. You reach out, letting your fingertips skim the surface. It feels as though the rock is breathing with you, expanding, contracting, alive in its stillness. Behind you, the cave mouth glows faintly with the last warmth of autumn daylight. A breath of gold and amber tries to follow you in, but the shadows gather it gently, folding it into silence. You imagine those leaves above, rustling, falling, drifting down to earth, and you carry that quiet motion in your body now. As you walk, your shoulders sway gently like branches in a soft breeze. Take a slow inhale. Feel your lungs fill with cool mineral air. And as you exhale, release anything heavy that you've carried into this night. With each breath, the cave gives you something new: clarity, calm, the sense of stepping away from time itself. A small chamber opens before you, and here the dripping water motif changes. Instead of single echoes, you hear a soft chorus, multiple drops falling, each striking a shallow pool, creating ripples that overlap and widen into shimmering circles. The sound is delicate, like glass chimes stirred by a gentle hand. You pause, kneeling near the pool's edge, watching how the ripples expand until they disappear into stillness. It feels like watching thoughts dissolve, each one landing, gently spreading, then vanishing into calm. Folklore says that these pools are mirrors of the soul, that those who gaze long enough see their dreams surface in the trembling reflection. You lean closer, the lantern's glow spilling across the water. At first, you see only the shapes of stalactites reflected above, swaying like upside-down forests. Then you notice your own shadowed outline, softened by ripples, as if the cave itself is reshaping your image into something new, something lighter. The scent here is fresh water on stone touched with moss. You inhale it, letting it sink into memory, the way rain after a long summer lingers in the mind. It stirs a recollection, perhaps a drive back home, windows fogged on a chilly night, and the scent of wet leaves filling the car as you rolled them down just enough to breathe autumn in. Small moments like those carried across years rise up here in this chamber, reminding you that the simplest sensations often stay the longest. A breeze slips through the passage and the lantern flickers. Shadows sway across the walls, and in their dance you glimpse shapes, arches, towers, even what looks like a distant castle etched in stone. You smile softly, knowing the cave has its own way of telling stories, carved patiently drop by drop, year by year. Another mindful breath, in and out. You place your hand on your chest, feeling your heartbeat steady, slow, peaceful, in time with the cave's rhythm. The echo of the dripping water no longer feels external. It feels like it belongs within you, now syncing with your body's quiet song. You stand following the sound of a distant trickle. The passage ahead tilts downward, curving in graceful bends. You move slowly, lantern casting a soft glow across wet stone. The air cools with each step, and in that coolness you feel a deeper calm take root, as if the further you walk, the more the world above lets go of you, leaving only rest behind. As you round a bend, the sound changes again. The drip becomes a steady flow. The flow becomes a gentle rush. Ahead, you see the shimmer of moving water, the underground river that threads its way through the cave, timeless and tireless. Its voice is hushed but strong, a constant presence beneath the land. You kneel once more, touching the water's edge. It's cool on your fingertips, pure and unyielding. You cup your hand and bring a little to your lips. The taste is sharp, clean like mountain springs and snowmelt, carrying with it the memory of high peaks and open skies. For a moment, you are both above and below among the autumn hills and deep within the earth at once. The river flows onward and you feel called to follow it. It leads somewhere deeper, somewhere quieter still. You take one last look back, noticing how the lantern glow fades into distance, how the echo of dripping water lingers behind like a farewell. And then turning forward, you begin to walk alongside the river's soft song, toward chambers that hold even greater secrets waiting to be revealed in silence and light. The underground river runs beside you now, its voice steady flowing, never hurried, like a soft companion guiding your way. The lantern casts its glow across the surface where light ripples over water, as though the cave itself were alive, breathing in shifting reflections. You walk slowly along the bank, your footsteps muffled by smooth pebbles. The dripping water motif joins the river's song, each drop falling into the flow, merging into its endless journey. What was once a solitary sound has become part of something greater, a harmony of motion and stillness combined. The air is cooler here, touched with the faint mist of the water's breath. Tiny droplets brush your skin, refreshing like the first spray from a waterfall on a summer afternoon. You close your eyes for a moment, letting it linger, imagining that each misty touch carries away the weight of your day, dissolving tension into the river. Take a slow inhale. The air is damp, earthy clean. And as you exhale, notice how your body grows heavier, more relaxed, more present here in the cave. You are moving deeper, not just in stone, but in stillness, every step taking you further into calm. The tunnel widens, opening into a vast cavern. Above, stalactites hang like frozen icicles, their tips catching the glow of your lantern in subtle sparks. Below, the river curves across the floor, its surface reflecting the ceiling's stone forest. For a moment, it feels as if you are walking through a mirrored world, upside down and right side up all at once. You pause to take it in. The symmetry, the silence, the way water and stone echo each other. The dripping motif returns here. Two occasional drops fall from the stalactites into the river, creating expanding circles that break the mirror and then mend it again. You watch this small dance ripples, mending into stillness, like the way thoughts rise and fade in the mind before settling into peace. Nearby, carved steps of stone rise slightly above the water. You follow them upward, climbing slowly, your lantern light brushing across carvings etched into the walls. At first, they seem random marks of erosion, scratches left by time, but then you see them more clearly. Shapes, patterns, even figures appear: hunters, animals, spirals of suns. These are not accidents, but remnants of people who passed here long before you. The locals tell stories of early travelers who believed the caves were gateways between worlds: the realm above, alive with autumn forests, and the realm below where stillness never ends. They left these carvings not as warnings but as invitations, signs to guide those who followed, reminders that to walk in the dark is to walk in the memory of all who came before. You trace one spiral with your finger, the stone cool beneath your touch. For a moment, you imagine the hand that carved it centuries ago. Their lantern was perhaps a torch of pitch, their footsteps crunching just as yours do now, their ears filled with the same dripping, flowing sounds. You share a silent connection across time, two wanderers guided by the same river song. Take another breath, in and out. Let your body soften further, as though you too are etched into the stone part of this eternal place. From your higher vantage, you can see further down the river. The light from your lantern catches a gleam ahead, something brighter than stone, brighter than water. It shimmers faintly golden, as if a thread of sunlight has woven itself into the cave. Curious, you descend again, stepping carefully along the edge of the bank. As you draw nearer, the glow reveals itself, deposits of minerals encrusted along the walls, sparkling in hues of amber and gold. When the lantern light touches them, they glow as if alive, casting warm reflections across the cavern. It feels as though autumn itself has followed you underground, its golden warmth now hidden in the stone, waiting for you to find it. The dripping motif takes on a new character here. Each drop that lands on the glowing minerals creates a tiny burst of shimmer, as if the cave is painting light with every sound. You rest here for a while, breathing slowly, watching the dance of gold and shadow. Your body feels heavy, safe, rooted in place, while your thoughts drift like the river, unhurried and free. An echo reaches you from deeper still, not just water now, but the faint sound of wind moving through unseen passages. The cave is calling you forward into spaces where air and water meet in harmony. You rise, taking one last look at the golden walls. Their glow will remain behind you, steady and eternal, a memory carved into stone. Ahead, the path bends again and the river disappears into darkness. You follow, lantern in hand, the dripping water echoing above like a heartbeat, guiding you onward, toward chambers where the cave will open once more, revealing wonders yet unseen. The path curves slowly downward, and you follow the sound of the river as it disappears into shadow. Each step feels softer now, as though the cave itself has cushioned the ground for your passage. The lantern's glow spills across the walls, revealing damp streaks that shimmer faintly like threads of silver woven through stone. The dripping water motif returns in a gentler voice, drops falling at wide intervals, each one echoing long after it lands. It is less a rhythm now and more a conversation, patient and unhurried, like the cave, speaking in single words carried through time. You pause and let the silence stretch, listening as one drop falls, then another, then another. Between each sound, the stillness feels infinite, vast enough to hold every thought, every memory, every quiet breath. You inhale deeply. The air smells of limestone and moss, cool yet oddly clean, as if filtered by centuries of patient stillness. As you exhale, your shoulders sink, your chest loosens, and you feel your body guided into calm, like the cave itself is teaching you how to breathe slowly with purpose. The passage widens once more, opening into a gallery of towering stone columns. Stalactites and stalagmites have joined over millennia, forming pillars that rise like cathedral spires. Your lantern light dances across them, revealing textures like flowing drapery, frozen waterfalls carved from stone. The dripping motif here becomes softer. Still, some drops land directly on the pillars, producing low, hollow tones. Others fall into hidden pools, ringing like distant bells. The whole cavern hums with a quiet resonance, as though an unseen choir is singing softly in the dark. You stand among the pillars, your breath echoing faintly, your footsteps blending into the chamber's natural music. For a moment, you feel as if you are inside an ancient hall built not by hands, but by time itself. A story rises in memory tales told by Slovene villagers of the silent halls, where they believed spirits of ancestors gathered. They said the drops of water were the whispers of those who came before, passing down patience, wisdom, and calm to those who listened. You close your eyes, and for a brief moment you imagine the echoes around you as gentle voices, soft, wordless, yet filled with care. Take another breath in and out. Your chest rises slowly, then settles. Each inhale gathers cool stillness. Each exhale lets go of whatever clings to you. The lantern flickers its flame, bending with a faint current of air. You follow that breath of wind, tracing its path through the columns until you find another opening. This passage is narrower, but the air that flows from it carries a warmer note, a suggestion of earth touched by sunlight, though you are far below the ground. You step inside, and the walls begin to glisten with a reddish hue. Iron traces in the rock catch the lantern's glow, creating the impression of rust-colored fire woven into stone. The scent shifts to earthier, richer, with a faint metallic tang. You breathe it in, imagining autumn leaves turning to soil forest, slowly feeding the ground cycles of change and renewal captured in scent. The dripping motif changes again. Here drops fall faster, striking shallow pools with brighter, quicker tones. It feels lively, playful, even as if the cave itself is smiling through its music. You pause crouching near one pool, watching bubbles rise gently from below, carrying tiny circles to the surface. They pop softly, leaving only ripples behind. This playfulness stirs a memory back home, perhaps a walk through piles of leaves, boots crunching with each step, laughter of neighbors or children drifting across the air. The simple joy of movement, sound, and season all tangled together. You smile softly, realizing that even here beneath layers of stone, the spirit of autumn is alive in its own way. Deeper still, you notice the glow ahead, faint but steady. Not your lantern this time, but something natural, something waiting. You move toward it slowly, each step echoing like a gentle drum. As you round a bend, the source reveals itself, a cluster of translucent crystals embedded in the wall, catching what little light filters through cracks unseen. They shine with pale luminescence as though they have captured the memory of daylight and held it for centuries. You draw near, placing your hand close, but not touching. The glow reflects on your skin, painting it in soft silver. You feel surrounded not only by stone, but by light hidden deep within the earth. For a moment, you realize the cave holds both darkness and glow, silence and music, stillness and flow, all balanced, all whole. Take another breath, let it out slowly, and notice how your heartbeat has slowed to match the cave's rhythm. You are no longer only a traveler passing through. You are part of this harmony, resting within its timeless balance. The crystals guide your path onward. The dripping motif now merges with a faint hum, the sound of water flowing unseen behind the walls. The cave feels alive, breathing through every drop, every shimmer. You follow the glow into another narrowing corridor where shadows thicken and the sound of water grows louder again. Somewhere ahead, the river is waiting, ready to reveal itself in a new form. And so you walk on, lantern steady, listening to the cave's quiet song, toward the promise of another chamber where water and light will meet once more in beauty. The corridor narrows once more, its walls drawing close, as if guiding you carefully into the next chamber. Your lantern glows steady, casting light that brushes against slick stone, each ripple of texture catching the warmth for a moment before releasing it back to shadow. The sound of water grows louder with every step. The river is near again, waiting for you, like an old friend you have not yet fully met. The dripping motif accompanies your walk, but now it has changed. Instead of scattered droplets, you hear a rhythm, several drops falling in succession, their tones distinct, some bright, some deep, creating a gentle melody. It is as if the cave has begun to sing to you, a lullaby formed of water and stone. You slow your breathing to match its tempo. Inhale softly, exhale slowly. Each breath aligns with the music, weaving your presence into the cave's song. The air here is cool, but not cold, soft against your skin, carrying the faintest trace of wet limestone. There's a sweetness to it, like the scent of rain carried through the woods. The passage opens suddenly, and you step into a vast dome-like cavern. The underground river sweeps across its base, wide and glassy, reflecting the ceiling in perfect silence. Your lantern's glow dances upon the water, scattering light into hundreds of flickers that move as though alive. Above the dome is alive with dripping water, dozens of points shining with moisture, each releasing a drop at its own time. They fall into the river below, sending tiny rings racing outward before fading. The sound is delicate, scattered, yet strangely organized like a constellation of tones across a night sky. You pause at the edge listening. The cave's song surrounds you, rising and falling, filling the chamber with a peace deeper than silence. The motif that began as a single drop has become a chorus, now a gentle music that touches you, not only in your ears, but in your chest, in your breath, in the slow beating of your heart. You lower yourself to sit on a smooth rock at the river's edge. Closing your eyes, you rest your hands loosely on your lap. You feel the weight of your body supported by stone, safe and steady, while the sound of water carries your thoughts away. Each ripple becomes a reminder that everything passes gently, everything softens in time. A story comes to mind carried by this place. Locals speak of the river as a traveler itself, moving unseen beneath Slovenia, weaving through mountains and hills. Some say it carries secrets from village to village, listening to laughter, to stories, to dreams whispered at night before delivering them deep into the earth for safekeeping. Sitting here, you imagine those dreams flowing past your fingertips, mingling with your own part of a shared current that unites all who wander, all who rest. You reach down and skim the water's surface. It is cool, refreshing, like mountain streams in spring. Tiny ripples spread from your touch, joining the flow, disappearing downstream. It reminds you that you too are part of something larger, your breath, your heartbeat, your presence flowing with the rhythm of the world around you. Another inhale, another exhale. As you breathe, you let go of whatever clings, worries, plants unfinished thoughts. The river gathers them, gently, carries them onward, leaving you lighter, calmer, freer in its wake. The lantern light flickers against the far wall, and you notice a series of low arches carved into stone. They look like doorways leading deeper into places unseen. Above one arch, mineral deposits glitter in pale green, glowing faintly, like moss touched by moonlight. You rise slowly, steady, and unhurried. The cave's music continues around you, and the dripping motif follows, still steady, still soft. You walk toward the arches, each step sending a soft crunch across pebbled ground, each echo blending into the chamber's natural harmony. As you draw near, the sound shifts again. Through one arch, you hear a low rumble deeper than the river's flow. It is steady grounding, almost like the earth itself breathing beneath stone. You pause, lantern lifted, feeling anticipation rise gently, not sharp, but warm, like the moment before stepping into a new season. You breathe once more, slowly, fully. The cave has guided you this far, and it beckons you further still. You take one last look at the dome, its mirrored ceiling reflected in water below, its song echoing in timeless rhythm. Then turning toward the arch, you step into the passage, guided now not only by light, but by the promise of what waits beyond the deep, patient voice of the earth itself. The archway draws you forward, low and rounded, its edges worn smooth by centuries of water and wind. You bend slightly to step through, lantern raised, and at once the sound changes. The delicate dripping you have followed becomes a deeper echo here, each drop striking obeying hollow stone with a resonance that lingers long after it falls. It feels less like water and more like a drumbeat, now slow, steady grounding. The cave is no longer only singing, it is breathing, pulsing with a rhythm as ancient as the earth itself. The passage is narrow, but the walls gleam with a sheen of moisture, catching your lantern's glow in silvery veins. You reach out, brushing the damp stone with your fingertips. It is cool, almost velvety, as if polished by invisible hands. Each touch connects you to the countless drops that have shaped this place, one by one through time beyond measure. Ahead, the sound deepens. The river's voice grows stronger, and beneath it, you hear that rumble again, the faint growl of moving air. You pause to listen, letting silence open within you. The dripping motif continues above like heartbeats, spaced across eternity, while the earth's breath flows low and steady beneath. Take a long inhale and a slow exhale. Feel the coolness fill your chest, then leave gently, leaving behind ease and softness. With each breath, you notice how your body mirrors the cave, solid yet alive, still yet always moving, quiet, yet filled with hidden sound. The passage widens suddenly, and you step into another chamber, this one unlike the others. It is vast, but low, the ceiling close above your head hung with jagged teeth of stone. The river sweeps through the center, cutting a dark ribbon across the floor, and the lantern's glow reveals eddies swirling lazily near the banks. Here, the dripping motif is everywhere, falling from dozens of points, striking waterstone in shallow pools. Each sound has its own pitch, high, low, sharp, muted. Together, they form an orchestra of echoes surrounding you in gentle music. You stand still for a long moment, letting it fill you. The chamber hums with harmony, every drop a note, every ripple a chord. The music is slow, deliberate, and endlessly patient, as though the cave has been composing it for millennia just for you. A memory drifts in unbidden. Perhaps a time back home when you sat on a porch in autumn rain, dripping steadily from the roof's edge into puddles below. Each drop had its own sound, some sharp, some deep, and together they became a song of comfort, the kind that soothed the mind and made you feel safe. This cave carries that same promise, that same reassurance. You are sheltered here as though beneath a great stone porch of the earth itself. You walk closer to the river, kneeling at its edge. The water is darker now, the current stronger. When you dip your fingers into it, the chill is sharp, almost electric, sending a tingling wake up your hand. Yet it feels invigorating, like crisp autumn air filling your lungs on a clear morning. You cup your hand, lift a small pool to your lips, and taste it clean, mineral-rich, almost sweet. It carries with it a sense of mountains, far above snow melting into soil, filtering through stone for centuries before arriving here beneath your touch. As you rise, you notice the walls again. Strange patterns run across them, curving lines etched into limestone, as if the cave itself remembers rivers that once flowed higher, carving paths now silent. The shapes resemble waves frozen in time. You trace them with your hand, imagining the water that sculpted them, the patience required to shape stone into art. Another inhale, another exhale. You feel yourself softening into that same patience, unhurried, timeless, free from the pressing clock of the world above. At the far end of the chamber, a high ledge rises above the river. You climb toward it slowly, each step careful, each breath steady. From the top, you can see the water disappear into a tunnel, the glow of your lantern barely touching its surface. A faint draft flows from that darkness carrying the scent of pine and soil, as if the outside world, autumn forests and fallen leaves, is breathing into the cave through hidden cracks. The dripping motif follows you here, two slower, now drops, striking hollow stone beneath the ledge, echoing in bass tones that seem to vibrate in your chest. You stand still, lantern steady, and let the sound pass through you as if your body is another chamber for the cave's music to play within. Somewhere ahead, the tunnel bends, promising discovery. The river leads you onward into spaces where water and stone will meet again in new shapes. You pause for one last breath in this chamber, drawing in the cool mineral air. And as you exhale, you feel ready to step forward deeper into the heart of Slovenia's hidden caves. The lantern glows. The river whispers. The dripping water calls softly, patiently, guiding you into the next passage where wonder waits. You step down carefully from the ledge, following the river as it slips into a narrower tunnel. The air here is cooler, touched with a breeze that feels alive, as though the cave itself exhales softly with every step you take. Your lantern's glow reaches ahead in gentle arcs, revealing wet walls that shimmer like polished marble, streaked with pale whites and deep browns. The dripping motif changes once more. The drops fall faster, here lighter in tone, like beads of glass striking hollow shells. Their echoes are brighter, quickening the rhythm, yet never hurried, simply playful, as if inviting you onward. You pause and let the sound wash over you. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in time with the melody, your chest rising gently, your shoulders loosening with each breath. It feels as though the cave is no longer only guiding you, it is conversing with you, answering your footsteps with its music. The tunnel curves and the floor begins to slope downward. Soon the faint glow of your lantern reveals the surface of another pool, a wide, still mirror, resting in the heart of stone. Its surface reflects your light with such clarity that for a moment you cannot tell where water ends and air begins. You kneel beside it, peering into its depths. The dripping motif adds delicate ripples, breaking the reflection into fragments of light. The pool looks bottomless, yet not threatening, more like a window than a void. Folklore says that such pools are doors of dreams where travelers glimpse not the past or future, but their truest moments of rest. You lean closer. The reflection bends, shimmering with each drop. For a breath, you imagine yourself as part of that dreamscape, your body dissolving into stillness, your thoughts carried gently into water's embrace. The scent here is sweetly earthy, like wet leaves clinging to soil after a long rain. It stirs a memory, perhaps an autumn hike back home, boots damp with mud, the crisp smell of firewood drifting from cabins as evening fell. That comfort lingers, now layered over stone and silence, connecting worlds above and below. You reach out and trail your fingertips across the pool. Cool ripples spread outward, merging with those formed by the falling drops. The water accepts them without resistance, folding them into the whole. You smile softly, reminded that all motions, however small, find their place within a larger harmony. The passage continues beyond the pool, winding upward. You rise and follow it, lantern steady in your hand. The dripping motif guides you, still lighter, now echoing like laughter in the distance. As you climb, the air changes again, drier, touched with a faint draft of warmth. Soon the ceiling lifts, and you emerge into a chamber unlike any you have seen before. Here, stone formations rise like frozen waves, curling and cresting as though a sea had solidified mid-motion. The lantern light reveals streaks of amber and ivory, smooth as sculpture. The dripping water plays here too, but in new voices. Some drops strike the curved stone, producing hollow, resonant notes that seem to hum beneath the surface. Others fall into narrow channels carved long ago, sending tiny streams trickling toward the chamber's edges. The music is layered, bright tones above deep hums below, an orchestra of stone and water. You walk slowly among the frozen waves, brushing your hand across their smooth arcs. The surface is cool like polished glass, and beneath your palm you can almost feel the ancient movement of water that once shaped it. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. As you do, the chamber seems to expand around you, the echoes stretching into vastness, filling the silence with a sense of awe. At the far end, another tunnel beckons its entrance, marked by stalagmites that rise like guardians. You pause, standing before them, lantern casting long shadows behind you. The dripping motif is steady now, calm and patient, like a reminder that there is no rush, that the journey unfolds one drop, one step, one breath at a time. Beyond those guardians, the cave promises new wonders, deeper still, waiting quietly for you. And so you step forward, carrying the river's song, the pool's reflection, and the frozen waves behind you, ready for the next discovery that lies in the hidden heart of Slovenia's caves. The guardians of stone stand silent behind you as you step into the new tunnel. The lantern's glow stretches forward, brushing against walls that gleam faintly with a pearly sheen. The air feels different here, warmer, touched with a subtle softness, as if the cave itself is leaning closer, drawing you into its heart. The dripping motif greets you in a new form. The drops no longer sound scattered or playful. Instead, they fall in a slow, steady cadence, each one ringing pure and clear like the notes of a meditation bell. Between them, silence spreads wide and calm, allowing you to breathe deeply, freely. You pause to listen. Inhale, slow and steady. Exhale, unhurried and complete. With each breath, your body feels lighter, as if the stone beneath your feet holds you, gently lifting you into rest rather than weighing you down. The tunnel widens again, opening into a chamber unlike any before. Here, the ceiling soars high, lost in shadow, and the ground dips into a natural amphitheater of stone. In the center lies a great pool, its surface still as glass, reflecting the faint glimmer of crystal scattered above. The lantern's glow barely touches its edges, yet the water shines with its own faint light, soft bluish, as though lit from within. You approach slowly, footsteps quiet. The dripping motif joins the pool in harmony. Each drop falls from above, striking the water and sending ripples across its mirrored surface. The ripples glide outward, overlapping, merging, dissolving into stillness. It is hypnotic, like watching time itself spread and fade, until nothing remains but calm. At the pool's edge, you kneel and look closer. The water is so clear, You can see deep into it where stone columns descend like roots of the earth. They seem to reach forever downward into mystery. Yet the sight is not heavy, not daunting. It is peaceful, infinite in a way that welcomes rather than overwhelms. There is a story whispered about this chamber. Locals call it the echo of dreams. They believe that when travelers gaze into the water, the cave listens to their quietest wishes. Not spoken aloud, not shouted into the air, only those held in the heart breathe gently, softly. The water takes them, carries them downward into the stillness, and in return offers rest. You lean closer, letting your reflection hover just above the ripples. The lantern light softens across your face, and as the drops fall, your image shifts, bends, and returns. You do not try to hold it steady. Instead, you allow it to ripple, to dissolve, to return in pieces. It feels like letting go of burdens, like watching the mind itself become water fluid and free. Take a slow breath in. Feel the coolness fill your chest. And as you exhale, imagine a small wish, not of need or urgency, but of peace. Release it silently into the pool, letting it fall with the ripples carried deep into the earth's quiet memory. The chamber responds not with words, but with stillness. The dripping motif continues gentle and clear each note, reminding you that patience itself is a form of peace. For a moment, you think of others who may be listening tonight. Somewhere far away, perhaps in small towns across America, others have dimmed their lights, rested their heads, and joined this same journey with nightfall travels. Each person carries their own wishes, their own quiet burdens, and here in this chamber, you imagine them all dissolving together, mingling with yours, flowing into calm. The air grows even softer as you sit in stillness. The scent is faint now, just a whisper of minerals and stone, cool and clean. The cave seems to hold its breath with you, matching your rhythm, waiting patiently as you settle deeper into quiet. Minutes pass, or perhaps hours. Time feels absent here, replaced by the steady song of water, the calm glow of stone. You feel as though you could stay forever suspended in this gentle space, safe in the heart of the earth. But then faintly, another sound reaches you. Not dripping, not rushing, but something lighter, like a sigh of wind drifting through unseen cracks above. It carries with it a freshness, the barest suggestion of pine and fallen leaves, as if autumn itself has found its way underground. You rise slowly, steady and unhurried, lantern in hand. One last look into the pool where ripples fade back into glass, where your reflection rests in stillness. Then you step away, guided now by the whisper of air, by the promise of another chamber, where earth and season might meet again. The dripping motif follows you, still clear, calm, meditative, its voice steady in the silence, leading you deeper into wonder. And ahead, the cave opens once more, ready to reveal the beauty it has hidden for centuries. You step carefully along the narrow edge of the chamber, lantern held steady, following the faint sigh of wind that drifts through unseen openings above. The air feels different here, lighter, tinged with freshness, as though it has touched forest before finding its way underground. With each breath, you sense both the closeness of the cave and the distant whisper of autumn woods far above. The dripping motif continues, but now it has softened into something ethereal. Drops fall from higher than before, their sound stretched by the height. Each one lingers in the chamber, a silvery note suspended in air, dissolving only as the next arrives. It feels less like sound and more like starlight falling into darkness, quiet, shimmering, endless. You pause to inhale slowly and exhale completely, letting your shoulders fall, letting your body sink deeper into stillness. The cave is breathing with you, each drop a heartbeat, each echo a reminder that you are not alone in this vast silence. The tunnel ahead curves gently and you follow it upward, footsteps muffled on damp stone. Soon the glow of your lantern touches a ceiling studded with crystals. They catch the light in muted sparks, greens, blues, and pale whites, like fragments of sky scattered across the rock. When the drops strike the crystals, the sound is transformed. Instead of the usual plink or splash, each one resonates softly as though the stone itself is singing in reply. The motif has become delicate music now, a lullaby not of rhythm alone but of tone, each note carrying a hint of mystery. You tilt your head upward, watching droplets gather on crystal tips, swell, and finally fall. The sight is mesmerizing, tiny worlds of light, forming, trembling, then letting go. It reminds you of autumn leaves clinging to branches, quivering before they drift into air. Both moments carry the same truth: to hold, to tremble, to release, and to join the flow of what comes next. A memory surfaces, perhaps walking down a quiet street. Back home, trees arching overhead, lamplight scattering across wet pavement. Each leaf that fell seemed like a story drifting toward the earth. Here in this chamber, each drop feels like that same story, but told in water and stone. You walk slowly beneath the sparkling ceiling lantern, painting the walls with gold. The air grows warmer with each step, and soon you hear another sound, faint at first, then clearer. It is the sound of running water, not the broad sweep of the underground river, but a gentle stream trickling across hidden rock. You follow it to a narrow passage where the stream flows along the floor, weaving between your feet like a guide. Its surface glimmers faintly, carrying lantern light in scattered fragments. The dripping motif joins it, drops falling into the flow and sending ripples racing forward as if pointing the way. The passage opens again, revealing a chamber smaller than the last, but filled with quiet magic. Here the walls are veined with minerals that glow faintly in the lantern's touch, greens like moss, reds like autumn fire, and silvers like moonlight. They weave together like threads in a tapestry, creating a mural of color that feels alive. The dripping motif plays across this tapestry, drops falling against stone, producing soft taps that echo differently depending on where they land. It feels as though the cave is improvising music upon its own painted walls, each note matched with color. You sit on a smooth rock to rest, lantern beside you. Closing your eyes, you listen. Inhale, slow and steady. Exhale, completely. As you breathe, the dripping and trickling sounds form patterns, a song without beginning or end, reminding you of lullabies that linger in memory long after the words are forgotten. For a moment, you imagine the cave not as stone and water, but as a living being, breathing, singing, glowing softly from within. You feel safe here, as though held in the arms of something vast and kind, timeless and patient. The breeze drifts through again, carrying with it the faintest hint of pine. You open your eyes, noticing how the ripples of the stream catch in the lantern light, guiding deeper still. Somewhere ahead, another chamber waits larger, perhaps brighter or quieter still. You rise slowly, body calm, heart steady. The dripping motif follows you as you step forward now, clear and bright, like small bells chiming in the distance. It invites you further, promising beauty not yet seen. And so, lantern in hand, you continue down the winding stream, stepping into the unknown once more, toward chambers where stone and water will reveal another wonder waiting silently in the glow. The stream carries you forward, its trickling voice steady and sure. Your lantern's glow follows the curves of stone painting walls in amber light. With each turn, the air feels gentler, touched by warmth that seems impossible this far underground, like a memory of sunlight drifting through cracks unseen. The dripping motif is brighter here, each drop ringing with clarity as it strikes the shallow stream. The sound is delicate, crystalline, as though the cave has become a vast instrument tuned perfectly to stillness. You pause, listening. Inhale slowly, exhale completely. Your chest rises and falls in rhythm with the music, each breath harmonizing with the song of stone and water. The tunnel bends once more, and suddenly the space opens wide. Before you lies a chamber unlike any you have entered. The ceiling arcs high above, and its surface is studded with crystals so dense, so luminous, that the chamber glows with its own light. Blues, greens, silvers shimmer in all directions, reflecting your lantern until it feels as though you stand within a night sky underground. You stop, breath caught in quiet awe. The dripping motif joins this. Vision drops, falling from unseen heights, striking crystal and stone, ringing like tiny stars, shivering into sound. The chamber feels alive, a universe of echo and light contained within stone walls. You walk forward slowly, steps careful, every sound softened by the immensity of space. The stream flows into the chamber and disappears beneath the crystals, vanishing into unseen channels. You kneel by its edge, watching how ripples catch the light, scattering it in shifting patterns across the ceiling. It feels like the sky above is moving, flowing with the rhythm of water, shimmering endlessly. A story comes to you told by villagers who believe this chamber was the celestial cavern where the stars themselves were born. They said the dripping water carried fragments of light from the heavens, delivering them here where stone cradled them into existence. Looking up at the glittering ceiling, it is easy to believe such tales. The cave feels sacred, a place where earth and sky meet in silence. Take a breath in, hold it gently, and release. As you exhale, notice how your shoulders soften further, how your whole body feels lighter, almost floating. You imagine yourself as part of this starry chamber, just another point of light, another note in the song of dripping water. The air carries a faint sweetness here, like moss warmed by distant sun. It stirs a memory, perhaps, of lying on a blanket in autumn fields, watching constellations appear one by one, your breath forming small clouds in the cool night. That same wonder, that same belonging rests in your chest, now carried far below the surface of the earth. You move deeper into the chamber, lantern swinging gently at your side. The dripping motif changes once again. Some drops now strike crystal, directly producing higher chiming tones. Others land in hidden pools, their echoes low and resonant. The result is a harmony that feels deliberate, as if the cave itself is composing a lullaby just for you. You pause beneath one great cluster of crystals. Their glow is pale and steady, casting soft beams across your face. You reach out but stop short of touching, allowing the sight alone to fill you. The crystals shimmer as drops fall, catching light, scattering it in sudden sparks. It is a gentle miracle, light born of darkness, music born of silence. You close your eyes, sinking into this harmony. Inhale, exhale. The sound and glow become one around you until you no longer feel the boundary between body and chamber. You are simply part of the whole, still, calm, infinite. When you open your eyes again, the chamber seems even brighter, the reflections dancing like fireflies across stone. You follow them with your gaze, tracing patterns across the ceiling. Some form arcs, like rivers of stars. Others scatter into constellations you almost recognize. It feels as though the cave has hidden a sky just for you, waiting for this moment to reveal itself. The dripping motif continues steady, eternal, a clock, not of hours, but of peace. Each drop is a reminder of patience, each echo a promise that beauty unfolds slowly, quietly, without need of haste. You stand for a long while in this chamber, lantern steady body, loose and heavy with rest. Every sound and sight here seems to soften, thought to dissolve tension, to draw you further toward calm. And then faintly, you notice something new, a deeper resonance from beyond the chamber. It is the sound of flowing water again, not a stream this time, but something larger, stronger, rushing through unseen spaces. The starry chamber feels like a threshold, a place of pause before what comes next. You take one last breath, filling your chest with this light, this music. As you exhale, you step toward the far passage, following the echoes of water once more. The dripping motif follows you, still bright, crystalline, star-like. As you move toward the next wonder the cave will reveal. The far passage welcomes you with a breath of cooler air carrying the echo of rushing water. You step slowly, lantern lifted, the walls tightening around you. Their surfaces shine with moisture, veined with faint threads of quartz that catch the glow like hidden sparks. The dripping motif shifts again. The drops are fewer here, but each one falls with weight and resonance, striking deep pools with a hollow, rounded tone. It feels like a heartbeat carried through stone, steady, grounding, endlessly patient. Between the drops, you hear the low murmur of water flowing ahead, a presence larger than any stream you've followed so far. You inhale slowly, cool air filling your chest, and exhale completely, your body softening further as you walk. Every sound seems tuned to calm, every echo guiding you into rest. The tunnel curves, and suddenly the ground slopes downward. Your lantern light spills into a vast cavern wider than any before. At its heart flows an underground river, broad, deep, and powerful, yet hushed in its motion. The surface glimmers darkly like liquid glass, its current slow but unyielding. Above the ceiling, arches high, jagged with formations that glisten with countless droplets. As they fall, the dripping motif joins the river's voice, soft plinks and hollow tones layering over the steady rush, creating a music that is both delicate and immense. You approach the water's edge, lowering yourself onto a flat stone. The river is close enough to touch, And when you lean forward to skim its surface with your hand, the chill is sharper than before, cool as winter air, pure as mountain snow. The current brushes against your fingers, tugging gently, reminding you that this water has traveled far, gathering strength from hidden sources before arriving here. A story drifts to you, one told of rivers beneath Slovenia that never meet the sea directly. Instead, they vanish into sinkholes, reappear in distant valleys, weave through the earth unseen. The people say they are wanderers carrying the memory of forests, mountains, and villages in silence, sharing them with the hidden world below. You imagine this river carrying autumn leaves washed from hillsides, carrying pine needles from distant woods, carrying whispers of wind and the scent of soil. All those memories flow past you now, brushing against your fingertips before vanishing downstream. Take a slow inhale, exhale gently. Let yourself feel carried, as though the river has taken your thoughts and set them adrift, letting them float away in its quiet current. The dripping motif joins this feeling, steady as footsteps fading into distance. Each drop strikes the river's surface, sending ripples outward. You watch as they spread, then vanish, leaving the water smooth once more. It reminds you of moments in life that seem so large when they arrive, like raindrops striking pavement, like thoughts echoing at night. But with time they dissolve, leaving only calm behind. You close your eyes for a while. Lantern glow soft at your side, river whispering nearby. In the stillness you sense not only the cave but everything it connects to: the mountains above the forest rich with color, the villages with warm lights glowing in autumn dusk. All of it is here, carried in sound and scent, flowing through this hidden world. A memory stirs gently, perhaps of an autumn evening back home when you stood by a lake at dusk. The water reflected fiery trees, the sky fading to indigo, and you felt that same quiet pull, the sense that you were part of something vast, timeless, endlessly patient. Here beneath stone, that same feeling returns. You are connected, not apart, carried along by something greater than yourself. You open your eyes again, noticing how the lantern's glow plays across the river, scattering gold across its surface. It is as though the river carries light itself, flowing onward into shadow. The breeze stirs once more, carrying the scent of pine and soil. You follow it with your gaze to the far end of the cavern where the river disappears beneath a high arch. Beyond it, faint glimmers suggest another chamber, perhaps brighter, perhaps filled with even greater stillness. You rise slowly, feeling the heaviness of calm settle deeper into your body. The dripping motif echoes above you, patient as ever, reminding you that each step forward is just another note in the earth's endless song. Lantern in hand, you step toward the arch, following the river's call. Its voice is steady, eternal, promising that what lies ahead will carry you even further into wonder, even deeper into rest. And so you walk on toward the next chamber, where the water's strength will reveal a secret waiting in silence. You pass beneath the tall arch, the river flowing steadily beside you, lantern light glimmering faintly against the current. The ceiling lowers, the walls draw close, and for a moment you feel enclosed again, held in stone, carried forward by the rhythm of the cave. The dripping motif echoes above, steady as always, but now it feels more intimate. Each drop lands with clarity, resonating as though it is not only striking stone, but striking the quiet chambers of your heart. You pause, listening, letting the sound move through you. Inhale, exhale. Each breath feels slower, deeper, more peaceful. The tunnel bends, and then the space opens once more, this time into a cavern so vast that your lantern cannot reach its far edges. The river spreads wide here, flowing in a great pool that reflects the ceiling in dark stillness. Above, thousands of stalactites glisten with moisture, each one trembling with droplets waiting to fall. The chamber feels like a cathedral of water and stone, its silence broken only by the music of dripping. You step closer to the pool, lowering yourself onto a smooth ledge at its edge. The lantern's glow scatters across the surface, casting golden ripples that shimmer outward. The dripping motif joins them, one drop, then another, each creating circles that spread and overlap, merging into endless patterns. For a moment, you simply watch. The pool becomes a map of motion, a quiet cosmos where every ripple belongs. It reminds you of stars across a night sky, or leaves scattered by wind, or thoughts drifting in the mind. Each arises, expands, fades, and gives way to the next. All are part of the whole. You close your eyes, letting sound and silence merge. The dripping is no longer just water. It has become something more, a rhythm older than words, older than memory. You feel it in your breath, in your chest, in the slow pulse of your body. It is as though the cave itself has placed its hand gently on your heart, guiding it into stillness. There is a tale told of this chamber, that the earth keeps its dreams here. People once said the drops you hear are those dreams falling back into the river, one by one carried away to be renewed. To sit here, they believed, was to listen to the earth dreaming, to share in its infinite rest. You lean closer to the pool, gazing into its depth. Your reflection shimmers, broken by ripples dissolving and reforming with every drop. You do not resist it. You let yourself become water fluid and weightless, part of the dream that flows endlessly through stone. Take a slow breath in. Feel the air cool against your chest, and exhale gently, letting everything soften, everything dissolve into calm. The lantern flickers, and for a moment the cavern seems to glow on its own. The reflections above shimmer like a living sky constellation, shifting with each ripple. You feel wonder stir in your chest, not sharp, but tender, like standing beneath the stars on a cool autumn night, wrapped in a blanket, heart wide open to the infinite. You think of moments back home, lying on soft grass in October, breath clouding in the night air, watching meteors streak across the heavens. That same awe, that same belonging holds you now, but here it is, deeper, quieter, cradled in the heart of the earth itself. The dripping motif continues steady, eternal. Each drop is a reminder of time's patience, of change unfolding slowly, of rest that cannot be rushed. You listen, and you know that this sound has been here for centuries and will be here for centuries more. Long after you leave the cave, will continue its song, carrying dreams for all who pause to listen. The river flows onward, slipping from the pool into another passage at the far end. Its current glimmers faintly in the lantern light, inviting you to follow. You rise slowly, body heavy with calm, heart full with quiet wonder. One last look into the pool, where ripples fade into stillness, where your reflection rests in peace. Then you turn toward the passage lantern, steady footsteps soft. The dripping motif follows you gentle, profound, eternal as you step into the next chapter of the cave's journey. And ahead, the way forward bends into shadow, carrying you from this high wonder into deeper layers of rest. The passage narrows again as you leave the vast chamber behind. The river flows steadily beside you, quieter now, its surface smooth as oil. Your lantern's glow stretches only a few steps ahead, leaving the rest to mystery. Yet you feel no unease, only calm carried gently forward by sound and stillness. The dripping motif follows, but it has slowed. Each drop falls after a long pause, landing with a muted plink, barely louder than a sigh. Between drops, silence thickens, wrapping you in quiet. The rhythm is slower than breath, slower than heartbeat, encouraging your body to drift deeper into stillness. You take a long inhale and release it softly. The cave seems to breathe with you, its rhythm and yours entwined, moving as one. The tunnel curves downward and you notice the air growing warmer. Moisture clings to the walls, a mist that shimmers faintly in the lantern's light. When you brush your hand across the stone, it feels smooth and cool, yet the droplets it leaves behind warm slightly on your skin like dew at dawn. The passage opens into a smaller chamber, intimate and quiet. Here the river slows into a shallow pool, spreading wide across the floor, before slipping into another narrow channel. Its surface is almost still disturbed only by occasional drops that fall from above, creating ripples that drift lazily outward. You lower yourself onto a broad stone ledge near the water's edge. The rock is cool but not unkind. It supports your weight as though shaped for rest. The lantern sits beside you, its glow reflecting across the pool in slow waves of light. The dripping motif becomes softer still, each drop landing like a whisper, each ripple gliding outward in patient circles. You lean forward, watching how the ripples expand, overlap, then fade into stillness. It feels like watching thoughts dissolve, each one quieter than the last, until only calm remains. Take another breath in, slow and deep. Exhale gently, allowing your body to sink heavier into the stone. Your shoulders loosen, your chest softens, your breath flows unhurried. The air carries a faint scent of moss, damp and green. It stirs a memory of an American autumn forest floor, soft earth beneath your boots, fallen leaves, damp with rain, the quiet smell of life renewing beneath the soil. That same comfort fills you here deep underground, as though the forest above has followed you into silence. You close your eyes for a moment, letting sound and scent mingle. The dripping motif becomes a lullaby, slower and slower, each note separated by stretches of deep silence. You feel the edges of thought blur, as though drifting at the edge of dreams. The locals tell of travelers who found this chamber centuries ago. They called it the resting pool, believing it to be a place where the earth itself paused in its journey. They said if you sat long enough beside its water, you would feel the world above fall away, leaving only timeless stillness. You understand now. Sitting here listening to water and silence, it feels as though you have stepped outside of clocks and calendars. The body rests, the mind quiets, the world softens into calm. You open your eyes again, gazing into the pool. The lantern's reflection trembles across its surface, fractured by ripples glowing in fragments. It reminds you of firelight flickering across a cabin wall, a memory of home and safety. That same warmth lingers in your chest, comforting steady. Another breath in and out. Your eyelids grow heavy though you are still awake. You allow them to drift closed again, knowing the cave will hold you safely in its rhythm. When you rise at last, it is with unhurried grace. The dripping motif continues above, steady and slow, as though encouraging you to carry its calm with you. You take one last look at the resting pool, its ripples fading into glass, before turning toward the narrow channel ahead. The river disappears into shadow once more, waiting to lead you deeper. You step softly into the passage. Lantern, steady body. Heavier, mind, quieter, carried further into rest. The passage narrows again, carrying you away from the resting pool. The lantern's glow moves softly across the walls, revealing surfaces smoother, now almost polished by centuries of flowing water. Your footsteps are muted, each one blending into the hush, as if the cave itself is cushioning your movement. The dripping motif continues above, but slower still. Each drop falls with long pauses in between the sound, rounded, gentle fading almost before it arrives. It is like the ticking of a clock that no longer measures time, but only marks peace. You inhale slowly, filling your lungs with the cave's cool breath, and exhale gently, feeling your body sink heavier, deeper, more still. The air grows warmer as you move, further touched with a faint sweetness. Soon the passage opens into another chamber, smaller but glowing with quiet beauty. Along the walls, thin sheets of water trickle down, catching the lantern's light and scattering it into silver threads. They fall silently into shallow pools, their surface barely rippling. You step closer, kneeling beside one pool. The dripping motif joins here too, drops from above, striking the surface with delicate notes. Each drop lands gently, sending tiny circles across the water, only to vanish as quickly as they appear. It is a music of impermanence, reminding you that even fleeting moments hold beauty. The scent here is clean and mineral, like fresh rain lingering on stone. It stirs a memory of walking home on a quiet American evening after a fall shower, streetlights glowing across wet pavement, the air cool and sharp. That same comfort lingers now, resting softly in the chamber's silence. You place your hand in the pool. The water is warmer than before, still cool, but gentle against your skin, as if it carries a memory of sunlight from far above. Ripples spread outward from your touch, blending with those formed by dripping drops. You watch them merge, overlap, dissolve, each ripple finding its place before fading into stillness again. Take another slow breath in, hold it gently, and release with ease. Your chest feels lighter, your shoulders loose, your whole body heavy yet free, like a leaf drifting on a calm breeze. You sit back against the stone lantern beside you. The dripping motif continues above, slower and slower, like a lullaby whispered only for you. Between drops, silence stretches vast and endless, a silence so deep that even your breath feels like part of it. The locals say this chamber was once called the listening room. They believe that the cave itself heard the hearts of travelers here, slowing their rhythm to match its own. Sitting now, you feel it, your heartbeat softened, your breath slowed your body, tuned gently into stillness. The lantern flickers, casting light across the walls. The falling water glitters, resembling strands of silver thread swaying in a breeze. It is as though the cave has woven a curtain of light to cradle you, to protect you in silence. You close your eyes again, letting yourself sink deeper. The dripping motif fades to the background, less sound now than sensation, like the slow rhythm of rest moving through your body. You drift at the edge of thought, not asleep, not awake, carried in the cave's gentle embrace. When at last you open your eyes, the chamber feels even softer, the pools reflecting the lantern like fragments of a broken moon. You rise slowly, steady and calm, knowing the journey is carrying you toward its final ease. You take one last look at the shimmering walls, the silver curtains of water, the soft pools rippling with quiet song. Then you turn toward the narrow path beyond lantern, steady in your hand. The dripping motif follows you slow and sure, like footsteps fading into dream. And ahead, the cave offers another space, promising an even deeper rest, waiting in silence. The narrow path leads you forward, the lantern's glow steady in your hand. The walls press close for a time, then begin to ease, curving gently outward, as though the cave is opening its arms. The air grows stiller here, heavier with warmth, yet soft against your skin like the weight of a blanket laid across you. The dripping motif continues, but it has changed again. The drops fall so rarely now that each one feels sacred, suspended in silence before it lands. When it strikes, the sound is low, resonant, spreading slowly into the dark like a breath that takes minutes to fade. Between drops, there is only stillness, vast, deep, endless. You pause listening. Inhale slowly, exhale fully. Your breath seems louder than the cave itself, each inhale echoing faintly, each exhale dissolving into silence. You feel yourself merging into the rhythm of the earth, slowed, patient, eternal. The tunnel curves downward and opens into a wide cavern. Unlike the crystalline chambers before, this one is dark and plain, its walls smooth, unadorned, as if polished by water long ago. The floor is soft with fine sand, warmed slightly by the earth beneath. The river no longer rushes here, it rests in a broad basin, its surface motionless, absorbing light without reflection. You lower yourself onto the sand lantern placed nearby. The ground is firm but gentle, yielding slightly to your weight. It feels as though the cave itself has prepared this place for rest, shaping it as a bed of stone and earth. The dripping motif joins faintly, only one or two drops every so often, each one echoing like a distant bell. The sound is less music now, more memory. It reminds you of the first moments when you entered, when a single drop welcomed you into the cave's heart. What began as rhythm, then melody, then chorus, has returned to simplicity, a circle closing, guiding you toward stillness. You lie back against the sand, closing your eyes. The air is warm and still, the silence deep. With each breath, your body feels heavier, your thoughts quieter. Inhale, exhale. Your chest rises slowly, then falls as though the earth itself breathes beneath you. The locals called this chamber the Hearth of Silence. They said it was where the cave's journey ended, where rivers paused and echoes faded. To rest here was to feel the world pause with you, as though all of life had slowed to a single patient heartbeat. The scent of the air is faint earthy, touched with warmth. It reminds you of the smell of autumn soil as the day fades, fields cooling after sunlight leaves gathered into stillness. That same peace rests around you now folded into every breath. The lantern's glow flickers gently shadows, shifting across the walls. Yet even as it flickers, the darkness feels kind, wrapping you in its quiet. You sense no urgency to move, no need to search, only the deep invitation to rest. The dripping motif falls again, one soft drop echoing like the final note of a song. It lingers, then fades into silence. For a long while there is nothing, only your breath steady and slow, your body sinking deeper into the earth's embrace. Take another breath in, let it out slowly. Feel your body loosen, your mind soften. Thoughts blur, edges dissolve, and you are held in stillness. When at last you sit up again, it is with no haste, no effort. The lantern glows faintly at your side, guiding you toward the final passage beyond. Ahead lies the cave's last gift, its closing silence where the journey will settle into rest. You rise slowly, carrying the lantern with you. The dripping motif follows one last note, one last echo, fading into the distance as you step forward. And so you walk toward the final chamber where the cave's story and your journey tonight will come to a gentle close. The passage ahead feels lighter, as though the cave itself is guiding you toward an ending. Your lantern glows steady, its light brushing against smooth walls that curve gently forward. The air carries a faint warmth touched with the scent of earth long held in silence. The dripping motif greets you one last time. A single drop falls from above, echoing clearly, ringing like the final note of a lullaby. Another follows, slower, softer. Then silence stretches wide, so complete that the absence of sound feels like music itself. You pause, breathing deeply. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. Your chest rises, then falls, as if your breath and the cave's silence have merged into one rhythm. The tunnel opens into a final chamber. It is smaller than the vast caverns you've crossed, but filled with calm unlike any other. The walls are smooth, polished by time, and the ceiling arches overhead like a protective dome. At the center lies a shallow pool, perfectly still, reflecting your lantern as a golden star resting in water. You lower yourself onto a flat stone at the pool's edge. The surface does not ripple. Even the faintest drip seems to have ceased here. The dripping motif that guided you through every chamber has now dissolved into silence, as if the cave has offered its last gift, a stillness complete, infinite. You gaze into the pool, seeing your reflection steady and calm. No ripples, no distortion, only the quiet truth of rest. You close your eyes, feeling the weight of your body sink deeper into stone, into earth, into silence. Take a slow breath in and let it out fully. With each exhale, the world above feels farther away, clocks, voices, a noise all dissolving. Only peace remains, holding you gently in its embrace. A memory comes softly, autumn evenings back home when you wrapped yourself in a blanket and watched the world settle at dusk. That same feeling fills you now, magnified as though the entire earth has wrapped you in its quiet arms. You rest here, knowing the journey has come full circle. The cave welcomed you with a single drop, carried you through chambers of wonder, lifted you into awe, and now returns you to silence, steady and whole. You take one final look at the pool lantern glowing softly upon its surface. The stillness is complete, serene, timeless. You rise slowly, carrying the calm with you, knowing it will remain long after you leave the cave. And so the journey closes, not with an ending, but with an invitation to return whenever you wish, to listen again for the gentle drip of water, to follow its song into peace. If you enjoyed this journey, you're welcome to join me again whenever you wish. There are many more stories waiting for you, ready to guide you into restful dreams.